Okay, in this game, I'll be playing as Janna support with Ezreal against a Grave Soraka lane. So, Janna is also viable as an AP mid and is very effective, but not this time. So, as far as the skills go, Janna's passive gives her and her entire team 3% increased movement speed, which doesn't seem really big at first, but like it offers a lot of utility, and not only for the lanes, but it also helps the jungle clear faster because he can reach the camps faster. The Q is a tornado skill shot that charges up for over a period of 5 seconds, I think, and the longer it charges up, the more damage it does and the higher it knocks up the opponent. The W passively increases Janna's movement speed and allows her to move through units like she's using Ghost. It's basically like a miniature Ghost, and if she uses the active, it does a bit of damage and slows the enemy for a few seconds, and the passive doesn't come back until it's off cooldown. The E is a really great shield, which is a it shields an allied champion, yourself, or turrets, and it increases their attack damage while before the shield breaks. Not sure if it does it for turrets, but that doesn't really matter. And then the ult is amazing. It's a AoE knockback, and it also, if you let it channel after it knocks back, it also heals over time for 4 seconds. Typically as support, the heal isn't that significant, so mostly you'll just be using it for the knockback. So for first skills, you typically either take the Q or the E. It depends. If you're invading or you're trying to counter their invasion, then Q can be a great skill to take because it actually does a lot of early game damage, and it has the knockback, which can knock back multiple enemies. If nothing really happens in the jungle, as was the case with this game, then taking your E is fine. It's pretty good for lane. So normally you'll max E first and then go for W and max Q last, but you want to have at least one early point in Q. As far as the matchups go with Janna, in my opinion, Janna is good. It's really good with what I like to call skirmishers, meaning AD carries that trade 1 or 2 hits and then back out. Examples of this are like Vayne, who can just auto attack, tumble, auto attack again, and then get out, or Ezreal, auto attack, Q, etc. The reason I say that's what's good with Janna is because of the shield. Because not only does it increase your attack, or not only does it give you the shield, which blocks damage from them in relatively short trades, but it also increases your own teammates' attack damage, so which is really good. So because she's good with skirmishers, in my opinion, she's a little weaker against supports that can force extended engages, like Taric or Alistar, because her disengage mechanisms aren't that strong until level 6 when she gets her ult. Her knockback on her tornado it's pretty small actually if you don't let it charge up, and normally if you're trying to disengage, then you're not going to have time to let it charge up the whole way. So here in lane, in this game, it was a while ago, so I don't remember everything that happened, but I recall my Ezreal being pretty behind in creep kills this entire game compared to Graves, and kind of struggling in the lane, so hopefully this shows a little bit of how to keep a losing AD carry in the fight. So when you see that the enemy bot lane has recalled, typically what you want to do is push the lane out and get it to their tower and force their tower to kill the minions so that they lose XP. But since this time it was pushed all the way to our tower, we didn't really have the opportunity to do that. So here I see something's going on at mid, but it ends up that nothing happens, so I just go back to bot. The shield's also really great for helping CS under tower, because sometimes the AD carry lacks just a little bit of AD in order to get the creep kill, and the shield provides that. I think at max level the shield provides 45 AD, which is which is huge. It's the same as the BF sword. So one thing that I noticed a lot of Jannas make this mistake is that they'll shield late. Like if the enemy team gets a couple hits of harass off, like if their Soraka were to silence my Ezreal, then a lot of Jannas would use the shield after the silence, and that's 100% wasted, because typically when they see the shield coming and they've already finished their harass, they're obviously not going to harass you until the shield's back off. So it's really important to shield preemptively, because Janna's not mana starved by any means, but if you do keep wasting shields, it does add up and you can find yourself out of mana quickly. So if you're still getting used to it, one thing you can do is just wait until your teammate takes the first hit before you shield, if you feel like they're going to attack him more times. So here, since they recalled, we tried to push the lane out, but we didn't manage to get it to their tower before Graves came back. As far as chasing goes, Janna has really good chasing ability because of the slow and the knock up, so which is really good for coordinating with gankers as well. And if you flash ult and knock back the enemy towards your own tower, that just helps ganks even more. So their Graves is going really aggressive and using his buckshot and his ult a lot. Alistar tower dives us, and I use my knock up to get him away from us, otherwise they could have dived and potentially killed us. Notice that in this case I actually channeled my ult because I was right next to my tower and I didn't have a threat. It just heals a little bit more, which is always helpful. Normally if I wasn't by my tower, there's no way I would have channeled the ult. I would have just knocked back and ran. As far as builds go, the typical support build is usually fine. Philistone, Heart of Gold, and then building into Shurelya's later. Kage's lucky pick if you can get it. So the deal, in my opinion, the deal with having 3 GP5s is if you can get the Kage's lucky pick early enough, like in the low 10s, like 11 to 15 minutes, then it's great because it just gives you that extra boost. But if you find yourself at like 20 minutes and you don't have it, then it's kind of not worth getting it because the game's already progressed to the point where the GP5 won't help you that much, and your time would be better spent getting other items. So because Ezreal uses his ult right here, Graves knows that he doesn't have it anymore, and he's taking the advantage to go really aggressively on us. This lane's also a bit difficult because Soraka gives Graves a lot of sustain. So here we get tower dived. We managed to get away and actually pick up 2 kills. I think we get Soraka, yep. Because they dived too deep, and Janna has really great stalling power at the tower with a shield, knockback, and a knock up. So that turned out really great for us.
An enemy has been slain.
Our other lanes are doing very well, so even though, yeah, Ezreal's behind right now by 50 creeps, which is a huge deal, but I'm not too worried about it because we're not even being effectively zoned right now, even though they potentially could be, because the shield negates so much damage. People like consider Janna a no sustain lane because she doesn't have a heal, but honestly, like, the shield is as good as you can basically treat it as a heal if you use it to prevent all the damage, and even if you don't get sustained, you're not going to take as much damage in the first place, so you'll be almost as well off, if not as well off, as a sustain lane. So here I got 3 GP5s. I managed to ult Graves into our tower, which allowed us to get the kill, and now we're chasing Soraka, but unfortunately she made it to her tower and we didn't pick that up. So now we're in pretty good shape because of that kill on Graves. And our Ezreal just picked off Straka by himself. Here, Ezreal got caught out by their cannon, but because of my shield and his own blink, he got away. And then our team quickly followed up and picked off bot. And now we pick up a free dragon because they have 2 down. So if I get 3 GP5s, I typically pick up a Shurelia's first because I have enough GP5 to then pick up an Aegis or whatever I need after that. If I don't get the Kage's lucky pick, then I'll usually get an Aegis first. But this game I actually pick up Mejai's because Janna scales incredibly well with AP, all of her moves actually, which is why she's viable as in AP mid. And because I haven't died yet, I know that I'm not likely to lose my stack, so that Mejai's can actually be of benefit, a good investment this game. Mejai's becomes quote-unquote cost efficient at 5 stacks, and I already have 3 in such a short period of time, so or 4 actually, so it's a pretty good investment in this game. Like my AP went from something like 50 to 90 or something like that in the space of a couple minutes just from that item. So thanks for watching this commentary. I know it wasn't really in depth because it kind of passed quickly, so hopefully I'll get some more Janna gameplay going on at a later point in time, and maybe Janna AP mid. Thanks for watching.